Today I want to talk about love. Love is something that is so pure. Sometimes it's not pure, but it's beautiful and it's something that everyone is looking for, everyone wants and desires. But with how I've experienced love, it comes in many forms. And there have been multiple times that someone has said to me, I just can't find love, or I just can't find real connection. And what I've always said to them is, love is everywhere. Love is omnipresent, it's omniscient. You cannot get rid of love. Love is a beautiful gift. When you are not receiving love from others around you, it can get really lonely, and over time it can really cause you to subconsciously and even consciously doubt yourself and doubt the ability of you finding love or attracting love or having love. But even then, when you really continue to do that, you're only limiting yourself and your reality of finding love. And most of the time it's because we are taught different things of love. We're taught what love is supposed to mean, what love is supposed to be. We're even taught that different types of love is actually lust and not love, which is not true, because love, again, exists in different forms. I hope that whoever finds this, maybe they could really use it to help themselves feel better, or just to get a different insight. Because, even though it's a video, I feel like if you're supposed to find it, you'll find it and you'll come across it. And maybe you'll even subscribe and find more advice from me. But love is something that exists everywhere. Again, as I've said, when you break up with someone, that love did not disappear. The love that you guys had between you two does not disappear. When someone cheats on you and they once loved you, it doesn't mean that their love for you was a lie. It simply means that their love shifted. Their love shifted from you more to themselves, or the love they had for you still existed, but their own selfishness and desires overpowered that. When you continue to love others in a way that the love becomes obsessive or possessive, it can really cause you to be deeply heartbroken when that love is not returned. And I think this is mostly the lesson that a lot of people are taught, at least once in their life. You cannot continue to love something over and over to the point of obsession or chasing, because when you are chasing something that clearly does not want you, you are only limiting yourself, and you're disrespecting and rejecting the love that you have for yourself. Because understand this, when there's love not coming from anywhere else around you, there is always going to be love inside of you. You just have to tap into it and find it for yourself. There are a lot of people that think self-love is just selfishness, which could not be further from the truth. There's a difference between pride and ego versus self-love, confidence, and security in yourself. Being able to look in the mirror and recognize that even if you don't necessarily like the physical parts of you, you can still love that you exist. You have brought yourself this far. And no matter how long it takes for you to recognize the beautiful imperfections or perfections on your face, over time you still begin to love yourself And it becomes less about your appearance and more about just you existing. Just your skin being there, your blood pumping, your heart pumping, your eyes being able to look and see different things. You can find love in a lot of things, whether it's cooking, watching a movie. When you're watching a movie and you cry to that movie, honey, that's love. That's love. And when you smell food and it makes you smile or it makes you feel a certain way that makes you in a positive way, that's love. It's love. It just simply is. Or when you're going on a walk and the wind breathes against your face and you smile, that's love. You know? And we spend so much time wanting love that comes from others that we forget that we already have love with ourselves. We spend so much time trying to chase after someone else's party that we forget we have our own house back at home. Our own house back at home. You get what I'm saying. But, you know, you just have to learn to be okay with loving yourself. Loving yourself isn't always about, oh, I have to get up and exercise, I have to eat the right foods, I have to say all of these self-love affirmations every morning, I have to take a shower every single day, even when I don't have the time, I have to eat all this nasty food that I don't want to eat. Sometimes self-love is about recognizing that you're a human being. You're here to experience, you're here to enjoy life. You're here to sometimes not like life. Sometimes you're here to cry, you're here to laugh, you're here to scream, you're here to cry. I already said that. You get the drift. But yeah, like, it exists everywhere, it really does. Certain things that I could recommend is just smiling at someone. Smiling at someone and having them smile back will bring you joy. And a lot of people drive past the fact that when you smile and when you gain joy, it's not just gladness and happiness, but it's love. It's the love that you have for that situation you were just put in. You don't always need to have someone else to show you that they love you. Whether it's friendship or a romantic relationship, you really don't. When you fall in love with yourself, I promise you things really do get easier. When you're sick and someone invites you to a party and you're so used to people pleasing, you don't want to hurt their feelings, but because of how much you're practicing self-love, you decide to force yourself not to go. And then turns out the friend wasn't even offended. And because you decided not to go to that party, look at you now. You're feeling better. You're not sick anymore. And now you can go to the next party that they're planning because, honey, you decided to stay home. You decided not to go to that party. You decided to give yourself some love and not go to that party. Choosing yourself first. Choosing yourself first is selfishness. And when it comes to selfishness, selfishness is something that is so commonly used in negative situations that we associate selfishness with negativity and wickedness. But selfishness is actually your best friend sometimes. It really is. Selflessness is also your best friend. But you have to realize you have two best friends, selfish and selfless. Selfless is there for you when you want to give love to someone else. You want to sacrifice something of yours or yourself for someone else to make them smile, to make them feel good about themselves, to give them hope. And it really is a beautiful thing. But what's also is a beautiful thing is when you practice selfishness, when you know you need to. You disregard the judgment of others and you come back home to yourself and you just exist. You exist in the moment and in the reality that you just chose yourself. And despite people judging you, it feels good. It really does. There's a difference between arrogant selfishness and self-love selfishness. And there's a difference between rugrat selflessness and pure selflessness. When you're being selfless and you're doing something for someone out of being a doormat, being a people pleaser, that's disgusting. It's disgusting energy. And I want you to know that it's disgusting. It's not cute. It's not, oh, I'm just this sweet little cute. It's disgusting. It really is. Because you're being a people pleaser. You're allowing yourself to be walked over. And yes, some of this comes from trauma. Some of this comes from just not always being able to be in that situation or household where you can stand up for yourself or where you're taught to be submissive all the time. But long story short, it's disgusting. But when you are being selfless out of hope and out of purity, and you're doing it to truly make someone else feel better, and also because it's making you feel good in return, that's a beautiful thing. And same thing with selfishness. When you are being arrogant and selfish to the point where you don't help at all, and you have lost empathy and affection towards those who are not doing better than you, that is arrogant. When you have an $100 bill, but you know you have $1,000 in your bank account, or maybe let's say $25,000, and there's a homeless person on the street asking for money, and you can't even spare $90, that's a selfish that we don't need. It's disgusting. And yes, you can do what you want with your money. The ball is in your court, of course, but you get my drift. Versus pure selfishness. Selfishness that truly comes from love that you have for yourself. You know you like chocolate ice cream, but your friend here likes vanilla ice cream. And there's a deal at the ice cream shop that you can get 2 ice creams for 1 flavor. And you decide, well, I'm going to get chocolate. Now here's the thing. Your friend doesn't like chocolate, but they tell you, hey, if you get chocolate, it's okay because I've always wanted to try chocolate. The only reason why I don't like chocolate is because I've never tried it before. So you can get chocolate if you want, it's fine. And you're sitting there and you decide to say, no, it's okay, I'm going to get vanilla. We can share. We can both get vanilla. It's very possible that you're being put to the test to see if you are traumatized when it comes to treating yourself. If you're doing it out of niceness and kindness, that's a really cute thing. But doing it in a way where you just don't want to hurt their feelings, but you know how disgusting you think vanilla is. Instead of just accepting that they said it's okay and you get that chocolate ice cream. But yeah, a friend of mine was talking about how they just got out of a relationship with their ex and how they just don't feel love anymore, telling me that they struggle with love and just can't find it. And I just looked at them and I just really thought to myself, because I've been through what they've been through before. I know what they mean. And the thing is, all I could say is that what I said from the beginning of the video, love is everywhere. It really, really is. And sometimes love and the situations you're in depends on your situation or your current chapter in life, because you're not going to experience love you're not going to specifically experience romantic love your whole entire life. You're just not. There are some parts in your life where you're going to be single. You just are. And you can use that time to grow with yourself and love yourself. Use this time to yourself and focus more on the present. Stop trying to focus on, oh, I need a boyfriend, I need a girlfriend, I need a significant other. When am I going to get married? When is he going to propose? Stop. Because you continuing to chase something that you know you can have one day, just not now, do you really think it's going to randomly pop up in your life because you want it so badly? I mean, if you do spell work or manifestation, then I see what you mean, but if not, even doing spell work and manifestation, sometimes the universe really does hold back a bit, because it's like, what are you doing right now? Because the things you're doing right now is not really reflecting good light on future you and what future you would do with these gifts that you want me to give to you. You know? And another thing, when your heart breaks, it's painful, it really is, but you need to stop trying to push away that pain. You need to feel your emotion. And same thing with getting out of a relationship. Don't push that away because you're trying to heal yourself. Healing is not pushing away sadness and pain. Experiencing that pain and that sadness is actually helping you heal. And don't hold yourself down because of his absence or her absence, their absence. That's the thing, like, you should not be with someone solely because they give you comfort. You need to be with someone because not only do they give you comfort, but you want to give them comfort, and it's a mutual thing. It's a mutual thing, but it's also a healthy relationship, to the point where even though you guys both can come together, you're also both able and secure enough to go back to yourselves. You know? You're not always going to heal that fast, especially after you broke up with someone a month ago. You're not always going to heal that fast. Sometimes it's about detaching. Love is not always about connecting. It's sometimes about detaching and letting go. It really is. You don't need to push back your pain. You need to embrace it. Go through it. Because pain is healing. It really is. Maybe it's because you fall in love. When you fall in love and you forget to continue pouring into yourselves because you're pouring so much into someone else. I used to love too much or become obsessed until I began loving myself too. When you love someone, it has to come from actual love and not a place of subconsciously using them as your own comfort and a placeholder because they're gone. Because when they're gone, it hurts more. Because you have to be able to go through someone else's party and then still have your own home to come to. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And when I say detach, I don't mean ignore and ghost them or act like they're not important. It's not going to help you. When I say detach, I mean be able to spend time away from them. Be able to have love for them, but still have love for yourself. So it's not love coming from obsession and being like a dog on the side of a street, but it's love coming from, I am so grateful for this love and that I have the ability to experience this love. But I'm also grateful that I have the ability and strength to have love for myself. So when it's winter, this is just a metaphor or example. So when it's winter and it's cold, if he were to have a fireplace, you would be there and he would share with you. But if he didn't have a fireplace, you would make sure that you still have your own fireplace in case his go out. Use this time to learn more about who you are without other people around you, without all the titles, without all the names and the popularity and the reputation. Use this time to learn more about who you are. Because one thing that's for sure is love lasts forever. You'll always have love, but you have to remember that love doesn't ever end. The love that you and your significant other have or had still exists. It's just not between you guys anymore. That energy shifted and it's towards a different target, but it's still within you. It's like that one friend I was talking about. They said to me that what hurts more is that he can't stand the fact that he will give someone the love that he begged for after the breakup. He was talking about how he couldn't stand the fact that his ex was giving someone else the love that he begged for. And my response was about begging. Maybe that was his lesson that he needed to learn. Because number one, if you guys loved each other, that's beautiful. Two, a mistake that happened was something that you couldn't control. And instead of him trusting his word, he broke up with my friend for his own protection. If you want to get one thing straight, it's not about blaming. Sometimes it's no one's fault in a relationship. Everyone had their faults, and it may seem like it was the other person's fault, but really it was just another part of life, another part of a lesson that both of you had to learn. Do not beg. Do not beg for love after someone clearly has told you that they don't want you. I know it can seem like a hopeful thing, like one of those movies or shows where you're begging for their love and they just decide, you know what, I'm going to give this another shot. They're over here begging to me. Maybe they really like me. And don't get me wrong, that could happen. But mostly, it's not always the case, and you just shouldn't beg. It's okay to look after, it's okay to try for a second time, but over and over, after they've clearly stated that they don't want you, and you're begging and begging like a dog on the side of a street. Is that who you are? I don't think so. Maybe that's something you can learn from. You can fight for something. You really can. But when it turns into something that doesn't want you, don't beg for it. You don't want something that tolerates you. You want something that wants you. Love is found everywhere. When you look in the sky or smell food and it makes you smile or feel calm and excited, that's love. That right there is love. Love is when you buy something and it really makes you excited, because it's like you're not just buying this thing to buy it, but you're buying it because it's genuinely something you're interested in and you feel like it'll benefit you, and you're treating yourself with a gift. Love is not always found in friendship. It's not always found in romance. It's not always found in lust. Because yes, love and lust are different, but sometimes love can be found in lust, just like lust can be found in love. But love is not always found in lust. So you also have to make sure you are participating in lust solely not after love, you know? Like, make sure you're participating in lust for lust and not to find love. I hope that makes sense. Love yourself. Love is a beautiful thing. You don't lose love. You just stop looking at it and paying attention to it. Whether you get out of a relationship and you think, oh my God, I hate love because I just got out of this relationship and they cheated on me. I feel betrayed by love. You weren't betrayed by love. Love was betrayed by the person who did not treat you right. Don't blame love. And you can say all you want that cheaters never loved you, cheaters never really had eyes for you. It's really not true. I can kind of see what those people mean, because when I love someone, it's mentally impossible for me to be attracted to something or someone else. But most of the time, if that person once loved you, it was real. Just because it ended doesn't mean that the love disappeared, because love is energy. It can't disappear. If you love a cookie so much that you carry it with you every single day, and then you get hungry one day and you're craving that cookie and you eat that cookie, the love that you had for that cookie did not disappear. When you ate that cookie, you were showing an action of self-love. You ate that cookie because you loved yourself. You loved yourself and you wanted to please yourself, so you ate that cookie. The cookie you had for the love you had for the cookie did not go away. It simply redirected back towards you, and you ate that cookie. When there's two couples and they're both madly in love with each other, and 3 years later, one of the people of that couple slowly starts drifting, it doesn't mean that the love is disappearing. It simply means that something else in that person's life started attracting their love. And because it started attracting their love, the love they had for you slowly started to redirect itself towards something else. Because again, love is energy. It doesn't go in a point of just disappearing. It does not disappear. Sometimes people are shadowing energy like love. They're shadowing love. They're hiding the love that they have for something or someone. They're starting to fall in love with something else, have passion for something else. And when stuff like that happens, your job is not to boo-hoo cry all the time. I mean, if you feel like you should boo-hoo cry, then yeah, boo-hoo cry. Cry all you want, because the more you try to mask that pain, it's just going to grow bigger. And it's going to sink deeper into your soul. And we don't want that. You have to make sure you go through that pain. Because as you go through that pain, it really is therapy. Because it's getting rid of the pain that you've held in for so long. It's therapy. Period. But yeah, stop blaming love. Stop. When someone betrays you too many times, it's really possible that it's a lesson for you. And no, it doesn't mean that you're the one at fault. Sometimes it's just a lesson for you. The universe knows what they're doing. Bad things happen. And you know what? Sometimes they're not even bad things. They're just random situations that make us have a bad feeling about them, a bad reaction. Let's say there's a dog that's really suffering, and even the dog wants to die. You take that dog to the vet and you put that dog down. It was a good thing. It wasn't a bad thing that happened in your life. It was a good thing that happened in your life and the dog's life. Because now the dog is not suffering. He's free. And now you're not suffering with that dog every day, watching it go through that pain, wishing you could do something financially about it. When the only thing you could financially take care of is putting it down, instead of putting it on all those medications or putting it through surgery. Putting it down was the only thing that you could afford at that moment. It was a good thing that the dog was put down. There's less suffering. The only bad thing, quote unquote bad thing, that happened is the reaction that you had to losing your dog physically. You see, we get so caught up in all of these terms and their meanings that we truly forget what they actually mean. Good, bad, negative, positive. When fire burns in a forest, it can be seen as a bad thing, but really, if you research deep enough, fire and forest fires actually help the environment of the forest. It helps the future seeds deep within the soil open up more because they cannot reach the sun. The sun rays cannot reach it more. But because of that heat coming from the fire, after that fire dies out and, the next time it rains, those seeds are going to blossom bigger and better than they ever have before. I'm sorry, that sounded dumb. Than the seeds before them ever have before. That's my whole point. Love yourself. It's not selfish. At least it's not arrogant selfishness. It is selfish though. I love selfishness. I love it. Even when people tell me selfishness is such a disgusting thing. Like, oh, I'm sorry that you don't know how to embrace your selfishness. I'm sorry that you don't know how to embrace yourself. And what you want and what you want to say. Step up and say something, because the worst thing that can happen is just you getting rejected. When you want something and you're deciding to step into the selfish act of asking for it, knowing that it could be something that who you're asking doesn't want to happen, but you're taking that risk anyway, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'm just yapping, and I really don't know if anyone watching this will truly understand what I'm saying with my stuttering and my tongue twisters, my tongue ties, my mind loops, just a bunch of stuff. Sometimes when I start talking about something, I really don't know what I'm talking about, but usually this could mean that I'm done. That basically I got my point out there. And even as right now, I don't really know or feel like I got my point out there. But I hope this helps someone. I don't know if it will, but thanks for listening.